Balki's last film, of course, was Chup, which was a scathing comment on criticism, or on film criticism to start with. And I have to say, in a film festival, everyone is a film critic, and you've already said it, Chup. So we're going to shut up and listen to Balki today. Of course, after about 40 minutes of this conversation, I will open up to the audience, so you will get a chance to ask questions. The topic we are really debating, or actually, talking about, or sort of, conversing really. There's no debate here. It's actually to know what Balki feels about the idea of aesthetics and economics. It sounds very high funda, but it really means, this tug of war between sales and self-expression, and it changes from various fields, like from the field that I come from, which is journalism writing. It would be leadership with some respect. Balki, my question to you, of course, is, there will be 2 or 3 things that we'll talk about. One is your work in advertising, and then you get into feature filmmaking. Firstly, do you think feature filmmaking on this particular topic, with its own box office and everything else around it, is a completely different ballgame?
First, hi. Thank you guys for being here. Love you being here. Feature films and box office. I think, like you said, it's not about negotiation. It's about, I feel feature films are all about self-expression of whoever is expressing themselves in that medium. So I think sometimes when your self-expression interests a lot of people, it turns into box office, and that's how it is. I don't think you can design box office. Like I used to say this in advertising also. People used to ask me, what's a good ad? How do you understand so many consumers in the world? And how do you know somebody is living in Bihar, somebody is living in Assam, somebody is living in Tamil Nadu? So how do you know these people? So I have no clue. I hardly know myself. I mean, I don't know myself. So if it takes a lifetime to understand yourself, how on earth can you be presumptuous to kind of assume that you understand anybody else? You're just damn lucky that some things that appeal to you appeal to a lot of other people too. And if it appeals to a larger number of people, you're more successful. If it appeals to a smaller number of people, you're less successful. If it appeals to a very few number of people, then you don't express yourself again. So I think it's a simple thing about that. So it's not about, I don't know how people can manipulate this, manipulate what other people can like. It's very difficult, it's almost impossible. It must be something that you like, and you're actually maybe shy of saying so, and you actually blame it on a lot of other people like it. Maybe that's what you really like, and that's what you want to say, and that's what makes you a hit filmmaker or a mass filmmaker or whatever. That's what you are, so that's fabulous. I'm lucky.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned something about the effect that you can have on people, and if your self-expression is of no interest to anyone, stop expressing yourself, right, at some level, because you could love doing something, but if others don't like what you do, what's the point, right? But there are enough people, and I'm sure there are young people here too, who's struggling with the idea of creativity, struggling with the idea of expressing themselves through their art, and people don't like it. At some level, they also blame the world for it, as the world owes them something. Do you think everyone goes through that struggle at some level too, as an artist?
Of course, I think it's not just in the beginning, right through your life you go through that struggle as an artist. I think there are 2 factors to this thing. I feel yes, it is about creativity, and it's about expressing yourself. But always understand that somebody's kind of putting money into your creativity. So at the back of your mind, you need to have the thing of, you need to earn the right to express yourself again. So therefore you have to pay this guy back so that you can express yourself again.
Right.
So just have that in the back of your mind, nothing more than that, because you can't, there's no formula to give that money back. Okay, it's just, it's a thing of honest self-expression. And I think cinema is a kind of a medium or a kind of entertainment where people come to see your self-expression in all its purity. That's what they pay for. They don't pay for, some cold, non-you kind of talking out there. They pay for that kind of thing. But what happens is a lot of creativity sometimes gets, a lot of people do get disillusioned Truly not because what they do is wrong or what they do doesn't appeal. People don't know that they are doing certain things. A lot of things don't even reach people. Enough number of people don't know, because in this very, very crowded environment, there are a lot of people are being creative. And there's so much of creativity kind of hitting the world. How do people, how does an audience kind of choose you? And I think that's really the crux of the issue. I don't think it's about people having rejected you. A lot of films that flop or don't make money, even though they're very good, there's something very surprising about them. People say, why? I don't know, I don't understand why it didn't do so well, it was damn good. That's because a lot of people didn't know about it. You know, and I'm actually shocked and I'm actually surprised when I look back and I see that I've done some of my worst marketing on my films. Despite being in advertising, despite marketing so many people's projects. Because I think in this creative world, we live in a bubble. We always tend to kind of think that if the buzz is around the people that you see, you think you've created a buzz, okay, around you. A lot of people don't know about it. I'll tell you something, a lot of people didn't even know a film like Chup existed. And I thought, oh, it had free shows, it had everything else, it had all the buzz, it had a great trailer, it had everything, people knew about it. Some of my closest friends who I met after many years, say, oh, so what are you doing next? I said, I just did Chup. What is that? I was shocked, I was just stunned. It didn't reach people. So forget the fact that you see it and then you like it or don't like it, that's a different matter. Yeah. If you don't even know about it, how do you do? I think the biggest challenge for creative people today is to really kind of figure out how to make people aware and not be satisfied with some Instagram posts and kind of some influencers marketing you and you're very, very happy with the few friends that you have, that they've all kind of seen it. How do people really know that something has been expressed and it's worth kind of talking? And I hate this cliche of Bollywood which says that good things travel, word of mouth happens. You know, people, a good film never kind of flop. Rubbish. This word of mouth is a very, very mythical kind of film. God knows how it happens. I wonder, how does word of mouth really happen? Does everybody who goes in the theatre come out rushing and meet 20 people and say, hey, go watch this film? Pull out people from the streets and say, oh, go to that theatre, go watch that film. Or immediately go post. It doesn't happen like that. There needs to be already enough excitement about people having to watch, and people just need a little nudge. Oh, they just need a little buzz. Oh, what I was excited about is worth seeing. That's all. Right. You can't create the word of mouth out of nothing. So I feel just stop believing in this word of mouth fully. Sometimes you're very, very lucky. It happens magically. But there needs to be a scientific process to this word of mouth to be generated. It can't just be left like that. So I feel that a lot of creativity suffers because of a lot of lack of science in this industry. A lot of, very, very savvy people working behind the scenes to kind of figure out how their creativity reaches is completely missing from this industry. And it's shocking how badly we kind of miss that.
And do you compare that, for instance, with the industry you originally from, which is advertising? One, I want to take you up on the point you made about this is that one product where you are, in a certain way, it's you, right? Nobody's come here to watch non-you, so you're expressing yourself, which would be almost the opposite of advertising, would you think, Balki, where it's not you, it's actually Dawar Chyawanprash. You know, you're not selling your story or your expression, you really want to sell more of Chyawanprash. Would that be correct to say? As opposed to feature filmmaking, which is where you move to next?
On a theoretical level, yes, but actually even in Chyawanprash, for example, or any other product, or take a tea or a cream or something, I think great brands are all about, there is an individualistic touch. Suppose when I do a brand, there is no kick for me to build a career out of somebody making lots of money. Right. It's about, what do I add to that stuff? Is there a bit of my personality that I can add to a certain product, which can develop a personality based a little bit on mine. So I think a lot of good brands have benefited from a lot of individuals' personalities across the world. So I think in a strange way, advertising is also very is similar to storytelling based on somebody's kick. Like I always used to say that for me, I had no idea about advertising. It was all about, there's a reason to tell a story. Today I don't have the reason to tell a story. That time there was a reason to tell a story. So I have a product, somebody's kind of paying a lot of money. Advertising is actually slightly easier than cinema because you have an idea and somebody is there with crores and crores of money to say, please give me that idea and I want to kind of show this to the world. Just use my product to express your idea and kind of show. I always look at advertising like that. Use my product to tell me your idea and I'll spend a lot of money on it. So it was a nice way to be. And here it is, it's saying, I don't give a damn about your product, just you want to express, you express, make sure you pay me the money that I'm kind of giving you. So it's a slightly different industry. So advertising is slightly, I think, easier than cinema because there's a lot of push and money involved in reaching the consumer. We don't have that kind of money. Unfortunately, cinema, for all its kind of might and glory and everything, does not have a marketing mechanism. You should see some of the people kind of priding on their marketing strategies and how this has worked and how that has worked. Zero science. Sometimes
the hero will cut his hair or do all kinds of things.
Yeah, all kinds of things. Create some controversy, create some do something. Somebody's sleeping with somebody. Somebody's doing that. Somebody's going to do that. It's nonsense. I mean, it's or create some boycott, some kind of thing. Somebody banning something. Somebody fighting with something. Those are all cliches which have gone out of the window. I really don't think that we have found a way to kind of market a film. We found a science to kind of really market a film, and that's really, really sad for such a big industry that we are. And a lot of creative people do suffer because, like, if you have producers, you have marketers, you have studios, you have so many kind of marketing people involved in it. But the theories of other marketing doesn't apply to this. It's a very different kind of thing. There's a different science involved, and enough research, enough investment hasn't gone in to develop a marketing tool or a way to kind of reach a lot of people. Because so many people are pumping in huge bucks into this industry, and yet the returns are so little compared to what it is. I mean, I must tell you, if you're making 100 films, if 90 films don't recover their money, there's something really wrong with the industry.
Right.
Okay, only 10 films are going to make the money for 100.
The other 90.
Obviously something is wrong. Either you're a redundant industry, which you're not, at least you don't want to accept you are, or you're really not reaching the people you're supposed to reach. It's as simple as that. I mean, when are we going to wake up and kind of, stop priding ourselves for the occasional hits that we have and think we know it all? You know, the kind of pundits there are in the industry, especially there are pundits everywhere in this industry. There are producer pundits, there are director pundits, there are writer pundits, there are of course the media pundits, the trade pundits who know everything about life. And they fall flat, they move on with the next theory. They fall flat, they move on with the next theory. Without learning a thing, without actually kind of having a logic or a sound kind of insight behind how to do things, they just carry on. So it's a kind of a mom and pop shop running an industry. It's almost like that.
There are corporate studios now. It's very different from how it used to be back in the 90s or even the early 2000s, right? You do have firms now, which wasn't the case before.
That's what is even more shocking. All the firms, and they're fantastic people who all actually come from a lot of marketing setups and everything else. But somehow, when they get into this zone, their entire reading of data and it sounds outdated even before they start saying things. It's so outdated. There is no kind of like you have a creative thinking. Somebody's trying to express their creativity. There is no creative way which is being kind of found to market it. There is no clear way to kind of understand what is the real problem of marketing a certain thing. So therefore then we come to a cliche of saying that, oh, these things don't work, or the tried and trusted things work. So it's not about those things work. You didn't know how to make it work. So it's also that, So that's where we lose, for want of want of knowledge in marketing or soundness in kind of marketing, we're losing a lot of great creative expressions.
Like as you mentioned, I mean, advertising and feature filmmaking, or Bollywood as we call it, right? When you were working with advertising, in fact, you were also on the corporate side of it. You were the CEO, Lorian Plus at the time. You would have to wake up in the morning, go to work, there's a building you go to, you've been paid to come up with an idea or two because there is a client, there's money that needs to flow into the system. Whereas when you are a feature filmmaker, and practically everyone is a freelancer in that sense, you could choose not to wake up. And no one's really forcing you to make a film. You can choose not to make a film too. There is no brief this time. The brief is you. You may think of something, or if you have enough money, go chill with it, not even make another movie. Do you think that makes a lot of people, that makes it a tougher industry to be a part of? Because there is no waking up and there is no building to go to, and there is no 9 to 5. It's really up to you. You have to motivate yourself.
I think it's the opposite, Mike. I think we're intimidated by the overwhelming amount of creativity. See, sometimes what happens is, I'll tell you a small thing. Can you imagine an industry? It's very difficult to make a film. I'll tell you why. If you wake up in the morning and think of this, you're going to spend 2 years, and for a lot of us, that's been the purpose of our lives, right? To get up and make a film, one day kind of just show our thing to the world. We're going to put all our dreams, all our things, all our efforts, 2 years we're going to put it in. It's going to last precisely a week at the maximum, or 3 days, and the conversation moves on to something else.
The next release.
The next release. It's so kind of, what do you say? It's very unnerving. It's like, it's scary. I'm saying it's so insignificant, so much of significance in your life, it is so insignificant in the world, is a very scary thing today. You know, that's not the reason for the kind of non-waking up. A lot of time I don't do a film because I just believe that it doesn't make any damn difference. What is the point? I might as well watch a lot of great films and keep watching them. Till you get an idea, again the bug bites you and kind of does that. So it takes a long time to recover from the world rather than from yourself.
How different is it in advertising? And here I'm asking one because you are the only person I know of who can shed light on this particular topic, because there is economics involved and there is aesthetics involved. When you are a person who is on the corporate side, as you were, and it's interesting that you can be an artist and a suit, because that's really what you've done. Do you have to defend every single thing that your corporation makes? It may or may not agree with you, but hey, that's where you work. I'll give you an example. Balki, the first time in my life I ever saw you, and this is much before you became a filmmaker, okay? I was watching on television, I was a kid then, I think it was Barkada's show on NTV, she was doing some sort of We the People. I saw this man, this bearded guy, who was actually defending Fair and Lovely, which I thought was fascinating. Which person would go on a proper panel discussion in this world, in this day and age, and say, hey, that's what people want, and that's what I'm going to make. Do you have to do that? Because that is an idea you're sold to, because you belong to the corporate environment, which is not true when you're a freelance filmmaker.
No, I never looked at it like that. I never looked at it as while working in an organization or a corporate or a company or whatever. I just believe that somebody was giving me a chance to express myself even then. And here, you're taking your own chances of expressing yourself. But I think the Fair and Lovely thing was a great example of how I learned how the mentality of people in a very strange way. I mean, I'm not here to defend Fair and Lovely. I am advertising Fair and Lovely. Right. So obviously I'm defending Fair and Lovely. Correct. So when we did an ad, which was kind of, which was one of the most successful ads about Kashmir Beta Hota, and that the thing happened. And we actually, Fair and Lovely first introduced a woman cricket commentator into the commentator's box, by the way, talk of feminism. But the thing is, when we went, of course it was a very successful ad because it was about female infanticide, and it's an ad against female infanticide actually, in a strange way. Which I thought was a very noble kind of
thing. What is this ad first?
Oh, it was just about a father, they work and they just wish they had a son and not a daughter. And mother-daughter kind of becomes successful and proves the father wrong.
And then start applying Paris creams.
No, it doesn't, she doesn't start applying. Listen to this. I tell you who started applying Paris creams. There's a joke there. So of course she does start. I have to use an excuse. My products paying me for my fantasy, so they have to apply whatever they have to apply. So they apply, okay? Now the thing is, that's the thing for me. I don't go so deep into the morals of life, I just tell a story. I go to the studio, and after 1 year, it was banned, it was discussed in Parliament and everything else, the ad was banned and everything, and NTV calls me, and Levers, of course, being a corporate saying, will you kind of represent us? Of course, I said, I'm the culprit, so I will represent you. I did the ad, so I'll do it. So I went there. I was sitting in the lounge outside. There were a lot of these NGOs and Barka and everybody, and I was about 10 minutes early. I was sitting in the lounge. A lot of these people are going into the one room and coming out. Somebody else going another room and coming out. All the people are going out there. And they're coming out, touching and stuff, and doing this thing. Just went out into the studio. They were all sitting there. I was called last. So I called and went in there, and I suddenly saw all these people. They're kind of fully, heavily decked up, made up, everything else, all this is sitting out there. And they're asking me questions about Fair and Lovely and about this thing. So I just looked at all of them and I just said, guys, you are the people who are against this. But you can't even face a camera without going into the room and kicking yourself up and coming in because you all want to look good. So what is the problem you have of somebody out there sitting wanting to look good? You guys are kind of against Fair and Lovely. You want to put everything under the sun. You don't have the guts to kind of appear on camera as you are. And you're telling me that I shouldn't advertise for some other woman who wants to just look good by putting on Fair and Lovely. I shouldn't do that. What logic is this thing? And they fought and they did that. They said makeup is different from fairness, and they did all kinds of things to me. But I realized something. We all have very well-meaning double standards in the world, and I think as very well-meaning double standards. Nobody is kind of out to get anybody. It's all well-meaning. It's all beautiful. So I think in Bollywood, this whole thing of marketing and in terms of formulas of success, it's all well-meaning advice, well-meaning kind of a thing, but it's all swimming in the dark.
You know, we had a conversation with Vijayendra Prasad yesterday, and which was really on the making of a blockbuster. And here's a man in his late 40s, really good, became a screenwriter, and in his late 70s now, he is definitely India's most successful screenwriter. And he seems to believe that if people want the star, they should get the star. If people want an image associated with the star, that's what they should get. If there's an item song they want, they should have that item song. You know, all those cliches, as you would imagine, or formula, so to say. And his point being that if you only want to write a book, you make 3 lakh from it. But if you're putting crores, then that's what you got to do. To what extent do you agree with this thought, Balki? That there is, after all, a construct, and you have to operate within it, because that's what people like. I mean, people like comfort food, people like comfort film.
No, there's a big difference, Mike. I think the difference is people want a damn good item song. People want a damn good action sequence. People want a damn good something else. And Vijayendra Prasad and his son, and of course, who the other people have done it damn well. They cannot become formulas for a lot of people who don't do it damn well. Okay? So you can't take something like, if you take Pushpa, if you take that one song, Anta song as an item song, it's a phenomenal song and it's beautifully choreographed. You can't say, see, item songs work. No, that song works. That item song works. You can't quote Manmohan Desai's 3 films and say, look, how he kind of did this Lost and Found story so well. That's only those 3 stories work. Others don't work. So it also depends on who does what. It doesn't depend on audience wants it. Audience wants a damn good song. Who does not want a damn good song? Who doesn't want to see a damn good video? Who doesn't want to see a damn good action sequence? Who doesn't want to see a damn good emotional kind of story? Who doesn't want to see a star spewing the best lines in the world? Of course they want to kind of see it. We all want to see it. I also want to see it. But we all fall flat in understanding the theories without the execution of it. So I think where it differs is, we all got a damn good stuff, not anything else.
What about you, Balki? You know, when you made that jump from what would be a completely corporate world of advertising to what would be a completely relatively disorganized world of Bollywood, as it were, you know, you have to constantly meet new people, pitch your ideas again and again. How difficult or how easy was it for you to make your first film? Because if that is successful, firstly, you believe if that is successful, it paves the way for other people to invest in your ideas because you already made money for the system to begin with. If your first film bombs, too bad, dude.
Yeah, it's not because you made money from the film, people believe that, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. That's all they know. Because the next thing is as much of a risk as possible. Yeah, the first film I remember, when I did Chini Kam, my producer was a friend of mine, who we did about 500 ad films together, Sunil Manchanda, he's the producer. I still laugh at him for this thing. He was of course, since he was from advertising, he knew advertising, he had a little more sensibility. And we were shooting this in London. At the same time, he was shooting Salame Ishq, which had all the stars in Bollywood. Every star in Bollywood in London. In Trafalgar Square, there was Salman Khan riding horses and all this stuff. All those things were going on. And in one corner in London, in a street, there was Chini Kam being shot and Amitabh Bachchan and Tabu walking in slow motion. Okay, this was the thing. Now, look at the mentality of even the most sensible person, because that's how people think when they go into cinema. The budget of Chini Kam very small. Balki, I don't have money for a jib. Okay, for a jib. So, oh shit, what happens? I'll tell you what, Salamesh, there are 2 jibs. One jib is free from 3 to 6. Okay, I just shift a jib here. Fantastic. Okay, super. 3 to 6. Only 3 hours I got a jib in a film. Okay, 3 to 6.
It's not Amitabh Bachchan though, and Tabu, so it's not exactly low budget.
Yeah, but it was like Bachchan come back, and the commercial angles were all expressed at that point. Amitabh Bachchan, of course, everybody has a lot of respect, but when it comes to money, they'll all say this much you can spend, that much you can, at that point of time. So that happened. So 3 hours I got the jib, and the jib came without a focus puller, without anything else. So I was supposed to use the jib like a crane, okay, to shoot it. There was no money. The studio who bought Chinikam was given Chinikam as a kind of a, if you want to, it's almost like a gift for, if you want Salamesh, you have to buy Chinikam.
The sweetener.
The sweetener.
Literally.
So it was a throwaway. It's like a must do if you want something kind of a big thing. So finally, it's different matters at the studio, whatever they lost in Salamesh, they made money from Chinikam. But that's not what people are. People always treat that as a one-off kind of a thing. They still believe that that is what is kind of going to work. That's what's kind of big. That's the try. If I want to invest 40 crores, I'd rather invest in that than in this kind of a thing. Because these things don't really work like that. Unless there is, okay, if somebody does it in one particular way, if the forces align and that's why it works. There always are very, very many reasons for things not working from their formula. So I just believe that, yeah, I faced it in the very first film that I ever did with Chinikam. The next film, of course, people were kind of saying that, where you want the prosthetics from. You want it from LA, you want it from Poland, you want it from Iceland, you want it from where. But yeah, that's how this industry. The third film again, they'll say, no, don't do this thing. It's a cycle, it's a graph, it keeps going up.
How important was it for you when you're making your first film that it should star an A-lister, as it were? Because we're talking about how to reach out to people. I think one of the things that Bollywood had figured out, or most mainstream film industry, including Hollywood, until they went complete berserk on spectacle only sci-fi and superhero films, they figured out that the star really matters, that people will gravitate towards this one particular place. How important, how sure were you that that's how you get into films? You will have to have a star.
No, I didn't think of star, I thought of Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay.
So I'm a great fan of Vijay, therefore I thought I want to do a film only with Amitabh Bachchan, nobody else. I didn't give a damn what economics were, and that was what it was. But I love stars. I mean, I think cinema is going to have a very tough time without stars. Because we come to see somebody who we kind of want to be, or think that they can ever be, and we kind of look up to that stuff, that person, whatever the reason is. And I think it's very important for cinema to do it. And I think stars are making one fundamental mistake, and I think stars are also caught in the same web of the producers and the money machine of Bollywood out there. There's a formula setting in terms of this. If I want to charge this kind of money, I need to do this kind of a stuff. Okay, only then will I be able to recover that kind of money for my costs involved. So I just believe a lot of these smaller ideas will become much bigger ideas, will change the face of a lot of things if bigger stars had kind of invested in them. You know, and it's not that they wouldn't have made the money; they would have made. They would have shocked a lot of people. I think sometimes cinema progresses far slower because some stars have experimented and fallen a bit flat, but have experimented the wrong thing and have chosen not to experiment again. Or some people have just said, no, this is not my kind of cup of tea at all, I go for the tried and trusted formula. I think if stars had invested and not lost heart in a few good ideas, great ideas, I think our cinema would have progressed much faster.
Can you think of examples?
I think, what should I'll think of example, I'll tell you quickly, I can think of examples of how it happened in Tamil cinema. It happened actually rather in the 80s. Actually, Kamal Haasan was one of the guys in the 80s who experimented with newer ideas in a big way. A mass star experimenting with some of the, like nobody would have done Salman, nobody would have done Rajapal, nobody would have done the kind of films that he had done. They're all mass blockbusters. But at the center of it was Kamal Haasan, and people started expecting more and more. You know, it's a strange kind of a time.
What's he going to do next?
What's he going to do? Not only what's the avatar he's going to come next, what's the new surprise in his film that's going to be there for me? So you're taking audience on a higher and higher level in terms of entertainment each way. This is a fascinating kind of a time in cinema. When suddenly then suddenly it stops, stupid things don't work, and you crash, you go back to some very thing. But that happened for a very, very long time in cinema. So I think if for example, let's say as far as Shah Rukh is concerned, if like Shah Rukh did it in Dear Zindagi, actually, right? He just came and did something very, very different. But if some experiments like a Paheli or something else, the 2-3 things had worked, or Swades had worked, and I think you would have seen, because he's one of the most intelligent actors, he's the most cinema-loving and savvy people that you have. I mean, you've taken a different kind of a turn out there. Sometimes a few things don't work, and circumstances make you kind of go a certain kind of a way again. So I think too many of those unfortunate things have happened in kind of Bollywood for us not to have the trust in creativity or the joy or the massness of creativity that we needed to have.
When you have a business meeting with a star, or when you have a business meeting with, say, Unilever, right? How different is it? You're the same person. You're also still interested in putting out ideas for consumption among public. You're still telling stories, but here's a movie star who he says, yes, here comes a story that millions will watch. Here is, the brand manager or the CEO, Unilever, he says, yes, that becomes an ad that everybody watches. How different are these two meetings?
I think...
I'm pretty sure you're not wearing a suit regardless, right? You're still
I've never been money accountable. There were always people for that stuff.
Right.
I was the person who kept spending people's money, but rather never earning things for them, according to me. But I don't think there's a lot of difference. Even today, when you pitch an idea to a star, okay, who's the client?
Let's say that's Sunny Deol, for instance.
Let's look at Sunny Deol. Or let's look at Amitabh Bachchan. Let's look at him. I mean, it's like when you have an idea, you kind of thought about it, and you're so excited, you think it's the world-changing idea and everything else, you go and tell him, and you have one look, you're just waiting. It's like, somebody has to decide. The judge is finally going to hammer the gavel and say whether you're guilty or innocent here. You actually have given the power, or not given the power. It's the same thing. Somebody else is actually going to say or decide whether you're going to go ahead with that or not. Somebody in some avatar. I think it's not so much the studios, because the studios are really happy once the star says yes. And the studios are very, very happy, they don't care. Star says yes, it must be damn good. Everybody is very good, come let's go. But till the star says yes, so he becomes or she becomes your biggest client in the universe, because they are the crowd pullers. So you do face the same way, and I approach it exactly the same way. Like I'm going to a client, and I'm saying it with all the enthusiasm, and I just wait for the client to say yes or no, and I wait for the star to say yes or no. There, the client at least I can persuade. A star you can't persuade, because he's a single human being. He or she knows exactly what they want to kind of
and do. No is a no.
I know the no, and this thing is thing. And there at least you can say a lot of things and kind of get away with it. But here it's a little more kind of a clearer kind of a relationship. So I don't think it's very difficult.
But less type of presentation maybe? You don't need to do like PowerPoint?
I never have done that.
You've never done that?
I've never done that.
Across your entire years?
I've never done that. I tell you, even one of those biggest ideas, biggest fiascos in my life, not fiascos, biggest, crucial points of my life where we were getting sacked from Bajaj. Actually, Rajiv is one of my best friends, but at that point we were getting sacked as an agency from Bajaj. One day he and I, it was like a farewell party to Lincas was happening at Bajaj. Okay? It was like let's give them booze and everything, and let's get them out of this building. We're drinking. I got damn drunk. That was my first week as National Creative Director of Suriname. I had just come and seen this thing. So I got drunk, and here he was a young chap then. He still thinks he is now, but and I just caught him. We both caught each other by the collar. How dare you sack me? How dare you?
That sounds very Bollywood.
I don't know. Full Bollywood happened. He said, "You Indian, you're useless guy. Your agency is everything. And he got me, pushed me out. All kinds of Bollywood thing happened." And he said, "I'll give you one chance." Like he was like full dawn. I want to try this. I'll have 7 people patient, you will bloody flop first thing. So, okay, fine. In this drunken conversation, all the bravado shit from somebody, you got a chance to kind of make an impression. So, we got this bike, and I had no idea. Somebody saying this and that, this bike gives you this one power and mileage, and I have no idea what the hell, how can you, who's interested in power or mileage and what is the combination of both those things? So I'm always in this thing of who's interested in what I'm saying.
Right.
So I didn't know what to do, so in this massive pitch, it was a massive account, and it should have taken about 100 PowerPoints, 100 slides to get to present this. But I didn't know what to do. Suddenly I just looked and I suddenly remembered something. I said, I asked somebody, I said, Hudi Baba. I said, what? They said, what? I said, Hudi Baba. That's what this bike is. What do you mean by it? I said, I don't know what it means. So it's an unbelievable bike, so it's all unbelievable, let's go. So I said, I did. Shit, everybody stood silence and they just believed me because they're supposed to believe me, and they came with me to the agency, and there was Rajiv, kind of a little cocky and everything. I was saying, come, I'm going to sack this guy again, I'm going to drink this guy and sack him again. So let's get this to this. So I had not a single slide. He said, okay, show me. I said, I have nothing to show you. So what do you mean? You come to get sacked without showing? Yeah. I said, Hudi Baba, that's your lad, go. He said, what? I said, Hudi Baba. He said, he just looked at me. I don't think a woman and a man have looked like that. So we just looked at each other for 10 seconds. He just turned to his thing like a dawn. He said, check if the bad road or not. I said, that's why I know where it's bad road. Okay, fine. Let's go. Actually, the guy decided on for the campaign. I just said Hudi Baba in the air. I had not a single picture, nothing, no script, no nothing. I just Hudi Baba. He said, let's go. It requires somebody with a vision of marketing to kind of do that. And it requires actually a person who does not know how to write PowerPoints and who didn't have the time to write a script to kind of come up with something like that. So it's a kind of a series of coincidences that happen, but I'm still exactly that way I was in advertising too.
And would that be an exception though, Balki, in terms of the way the two industries work? Would that be a little more organized? This would be a little more conversational?
No, I think advertising went through a change. People started kind of disbelieving PowerPoints at that point. See, advertising is also going through the same thing that feature films are happening. People are struggling as to how to reach the consumer. You know, this delusional media and this kind of fragmentation of shit, and people don't know who's seeing what. Even there, they're getting very, very happy that there are few influencers and a few kind of circles are saying, I've seen this ad, this has worked, and this worked. So there is a lot of chaos in generally reaching people, in really understanding. That's why I think marketing is struggling. Because there is no really real science that is telling you that, before, you know, it's a very simple thing. You can say, I released an ad, my product sold this much, or somebody thought better of my product, or something like that. Today, it's a very strange kind of thing. Nobody talks to sales compared to advertising. People say, okay, this parameter has shifted from here to here. So I didn't spend so many crores to have a parameter shift here in this whole thing. So it's a very strange, and that itself tells you that something is iffy in this whole thing. Parameter shifting doesn't require this kind of cost. So the same thing with Bollywood. I think we're all struggling as to how to reach the media and how to get to people seems to be the biggest task at hand.
But does it make it easier when you're dealing with box office, for instance, because that's at least a number you know and when to watch it in the theatre, because even that's changing in the OTT versus theatre going on.
It is, but how do you get that box office is what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's not the result that I'm worried about, it's just to know how to get that box office. It's a struggle. People have lots of examples. You know, it's a strange kind of thing. Some weeks back, when Jersey got released, remember when Shahid's Jersey got released? It was like, you know, we all thought the movie would do well, and it was like, and I'd seen Telugu movie, I saw it. When it came out, there were many pundits to say, so foolish of these people to kind of call it Jersey, it's running on that platform. Why would people go see a movie? Again, it's called Jersey, people have just seen Jersey. Cut to, you see Drishyam 2, same Drishyam 2, that's also called Drishyam 2, it's a blockbuster. Okay? All the pundits have vanished. Who said remakes don't work, this thing don't work, that thing won't work, immediately. So day after tomorrow, some other theory they'll have. And they'll come up with this kind of thing. So it's like, they say South Indian films work. Okay? Some Kantara will work, one RRR will work, one Pushpa will work. And they say South Indian cinema is rocking. The next 2-3 which bomb, suddenly the entire thing will be turning to some other cinema in the world. So I think we're just fly-by-night thinkers or deducers, like I call it. We don't have a science to this entire thing.
So when you were with people who probably done their MBAs from top management schools, probably to MICA and all these, that's what advertising industry usually attracts. When you're working in the world where it doesn't matter, it's really like how big your last hit was, how much money you have to spare, make a film, bet everything you've got. How were you the oddball in this world, or did you like adapt to what is Bollywood quite easily because that is who you are?
No, I don't know Bollywood at all. I don't know a lot of people. I just only meet them when there is a film, when I meet the stars. Or when Amit used to have his Diwali party, which we had not had for a very long time. So I have not met any of these people for a very long time. So for me, it's about that particular film.
So you're not that guy who goes to the coffee shops, who's listening to ideas. That's what Bollywood is, right? For people who are not from Bombay here, and I'm presuming there would be a few. It's an ecosystem. It's a township. There people are, a script is being made here, a script is being discussed there. Everybody seems to know everyone. They meet up. Are you totally averse to that idea of hanging there?
This is a very mythical Versova kind of bungalows kind of thing. Nothing like this happened. I don't know. I only see lines outside Mukesh Chawla's office or thing when I go to Aman's studio. I've not even met Mukesh Chawla. I don't even know this thing, but I see the lines outside his kind of office of people wanting to become actors and all that. But this Bollywood, I don't understand what this Bollywood ecosystem is. I mean, nobody knows. In fact, the chap who taught me the most is Jaitilal Gada. When I was working with him, and so very strange kind of a thing. He just said that my responsibility is to make sure we don't lose money. I mean, it's a superb thing to say. He said, no, I'm not, this film, I don't know how much film it make. It can make a 0, it can make 100. That's not my problem. My responsibility is to make sure you don't lose money so that you can make your next film. Clear thought. He just looked at it. He said, I'll not tell you any theories. I'll not tell you, because the theory I tell you today will turn around tomorrow. Yes, he's actually been a person on the ground. His fundamentals are so damn clear. He told me about this free view. When we said we'll be the first people to kind of show the film to the audiences for free. Okay, he said, what a damn, I thought he wants to support it because money will go out of his system. So many tickets will go out of it. We did 11 shows. It's about some 4,000, 5,000 people saw it free before the media saw it or before it was released in theaters. And he told me, what is stupid people, why are these people worried about this stuff? What is 3,000, 5,000 tickets cost? Some, 5,000 into, let's say, 100, 150 is the...
5 lakh maybe? Yeah.
Some 7 lakhs, 5, 7 lakhs. Bandra holding costs more than that. So he said, you can get so much publicity for just showing people, because finally you are saying word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. Let the mouths happen, no? Then only words will happen. He's saying exactly like this. The more mouths there are, the more words will kind of happen. So please increase the mouth. That cost of that is far less than holding in Bandra. I mean, it requires a very gut level thinker to kind of think like that. A genius he is. So I think sometimes we just have to keep trying.
Right. In your case, for the number of times you tried and you made so many feature films by now, from the point where you had an idea, a line block in your head, to the point you actually wrote the entire script, to the point you actually released the film, have you been through a process where economics has changed the idea that you started with and what became of the film eventually? Has it been through a process, or is it exactly what you thought and that's precisely what came out?
In terms of economics, yes.
Okay. How? What are these changes that happen because of economics involved, because of people involved, because of industry involved?
No, the changes don't happen because of economics. The economics are decided by the kind of film it is right at the beginning. You stick to the economics.
Right.
I didn't have to change the economics based on the stuff because I knew a certain kind of a film will have that kind of economics. The only time I went wrong in economics is Shamita, but most other films are very bang on to the economics. If you do it within this kind of a film, this kind of a budget, I think nobody will lose money. We'll be in a safe kind of environment. Enough people will see it.
So what are these things that you will do to make sure that you are safe?
Things that you will do. The story that you want to tell, the treatment that you have in mind for this kind of a film. Like I would say, a lot of my films will have sometimes very big emotional moments like throwaways, and very throwaway moments as very big emotional moments.
Okay.
It's a trip for me.
Explain that.
Like for example, if I'm going to say, let me put it that way, let's say I have cancer. I'd like to say, I'm not saying I've done this in the film, but I'm saying, cancer. This tea, how did you make this tea? And tell me about this tea. I'd like to have a 10-minute conversation with tea rather than cancer. It's the way you look at life. Because I believe the more interesting things are the smaller bits of life, which we don't kind of talk about enough. and the big things we tom-tom a hell of a lot all across. So therefore, there is a certain side of filmmaking or a certain kind of a way of thinking about a relationship of how you kind of do things. With, like, for example, taking on critics. But first, I tell you the number of people who told me don't do show. Sometimes I don't even know whether they're right or wrong. But they said, how can you, who is interested in critics? It's such a small, some one actor told me this. He said, it's not hyper-local concept. I said, what is a hyper-local concept? It is so local, it is so limited to the few people, this thing and everything else. Then I said, so many people troll these critics, so many people read these fellows, so many people read, they are actually sometimes more famous than the cinemas. How are you saying that these are local? Forget their names. The stars at least the people are looking at every day. I never understood. They thought I was doing a film cinema on cinema and everything. So when you are talking to people before a film is made, and they've already made up their mind, this is about some critic they want to kill, nobody is anyway interested in that fellow, and you want to kill that fellow, and you want to make a film on him, and you want to spend 20 crores on him, and you want to do all this stuff. It's itna hi hoga yaar. Zyada nahi hoga. Who the hell is interested? There is no song, there is no Guru Dutt you're bringing, and that whole thing. Okay, you've got a black and white Guru Dutt, you've got a critic, nobody is interested, you've got some songs that everything. What do you expect me to pump money? So, I didn't hear this from them, but I know this is the scenario and the whole thing. So you limit it to a certain kind of a, you work within the economics, right, this thing. So a lot of stars actually would not have done this particular film because they, in their head, they couldn't have recovered their cost itself for this particular concept to kind of happen. So I didn't even go there. So I was very clear in my mind that this needed a person that people didn't have a fixed image on. So that's how I look at economics for every film.
Right. And eventually, and this is the last question before I get to the audience, eventually, because this was the last film Chup we're talking about, I mean, effectively, one looks at it, Balki, it's also looking at the mind of a creator, person who puts, as you said right at the beginning of this conversation, puts in 2 years of their life, right, thinking about nothing else, which will come out for 2 hours in someone else's life. They'll watch it and trash it or whatever and move on. But this man who spent that much time is also an artist, therefore more sensitive than other people, because there's a connection he has to the story going said. Is that the point you want to make? Because at the end of the day, there's economics involved, there are lots of people involved, but there is that one person who's extremely sensitive who gets fucked depending on, sorry, this is the government festival, as you would say, but there's a person who gets screwed over because they put everything into it. Was that the point you're trying to make with Chup at some level? And what does it do to a creator in this world of economics?
I think I've become, you're absolutely right, because that's exactly what I want to do, and I've become super sensitive of the Chup. And I tell you, sometimes this really happens. When some people kind of watch a film and they call you and they say wonderful things on the phone, and it's just exactly 1 week after that, I'm meeting them, okay? I meet them. They don't even remember that I've done this thing, okay? It's like they don't, hey, I tried to call the conversation went to something else. So here you are, as a creator, at least thinking that the person who really enjoyed the film and who spoke about the film will remember you liked it. I mean, I like to hear good things. Who doesn't like to hear good things about this film? We all like to hear good things about this film. I don't like criticism. So therefore, when a person doesn't even remember, not because it's her or his fault, it's just they moved on in their lives.
Yeah.
Okay, but your thing mattered to them at that point of time, and they said what they had to say over the phone, they finished it. It is not gone out of your mind. You're living with that. You spent 2 years. It's going to take a long, many months for it to go out of your system. So, forget criticism, even the people who've forgotten your efforts hurt you, because as an artist, that is how close, I've never been this close to a film like I have been to Chup. Because it's so personal in a lot of ways in terms of in terms of what you go through as a creator of anything in the world. And you tend to pick on hurts. Actually, sometimes today I'm going and searching for ways of being hurt. Okay, it's that kind of a thing. You become so hypersensitive after Chup. So yeah, it's really true that it also kind of comes down to conversations. Like look at in a lot of conversations today with a lot of film people. When 2-3 film people speak or get together, nobody's talking of film. People are talking of how did that do, how did this do, this did well here, this did. The audience is talking of which did well, what didn't do well. Nobody's talking off the film. I find
the point of the film or how it affected you.
Yeah, it's a strange kind of thing of all about how does a film do. So something has shifted in this entire thing while we are stuck to the stupidity of sensitivity. People have moved on in their lives. They are not worried about their sensitive or not. They want sensitive stuff to forget fast. It's a tricky kind of a thing. You don't live with that cruelty in life.
Audience guys. There's someone with the mic?
Hi sir, can you hear me? Am I audible? Right. My name is Aditya. So what I want to ask is, like, how your films have been so different when it comes to the idea or what it's based on. So now, when there is a new idea, suppose, in the pretext of it being different, it can slide into being controversial or not being accepted by society. Now, we live in a time where films, no matter how big the star is, no matter what the production, it can easily get boycotted, it can easily get, So when you have an idea which might not be accepted by a few, how do you, work on it or convince people to like accept it,
Firstly, I don't work an idea for it to be accepted. I have to accept the idea. When it drops into my head, I have to first accept the idea. And it's not about, whether society will accept. I always look at films, see, everybody has a different way of looking at films and everybody is quite different. So my way of looking at films is not to see life as it is, but to see life as I wish it was. And in a realistic zone, but why can't a relationship be like this? Why can't this be like this? People ask, so do you wish you could kill a lot of critics? I said yes, but that's a different matter. But that's not what I wish. I wish I could express myself. I wish critics would be more sensitive. I wish somebody would. These are my wishes for life, and I wish life was like this. There is a kind of a, not idealism, but a way, things that I would like to see. So I search for ideas where I can kind of portray life in a way I wish it was, rather than the way it is. I don't like realistic cinema as it is, because that's the way I am. That's not good or bad about it, but that's the way I am.
Yeah. Hi, sir. I'm also Aditya. So I come from the city where you made Padman. I'm from Mysore. I was born in Mysore, and I'm just here to express my love for Gauri ma'am and for you. I just want to thank you because of Dear Zindagi. So I almost lost my elder brother to insanity, and there were times when he used to. So I want to talk about films as you were just mentioning. So I hope it is okay if I express my gratitude.
Of course, please.
So what happened was that he used to be on very high dosage of medicines, and we used to wait for him to sleep because he was very aggressive when he was up. So there was this one day when he was calming down, and during those times we lost one of my family members. So it was very hard, and Dear Zindagi made a huge impact on me because those times I was a teenage and I was having a lot of fights with my parents. So I used to cry alone watching that movie in film theaters. Like I watched it, I don't know, more than 5 times. And for the first time I watched it in Mumbai with my brother, and he was really well. So then there was this one day when I asked him, do you want to watch Dear Zindagi again with me? And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And we watched the whole movie. The next day at the same time, he wouldn't remember much of it. And the next day he was like, can we watch Dear Zindagi again? And we watched it. And then he was like, can we switch it to the part where Mr. Khan comes in, Shah Rukh Khan. I'm a huge lover of him. And also I find you both, because I have a very sweet reason for it, because I find you both, as my parent figure, I get a lot of learnings from you guys, because both of my parents and you guys are born in 65. So that is a very sweet reason for me. So since that day, like for the 5 consecutive days, my brother made us watch the whole movie, and miraculously he came back. And I don't know what to do about it, and I can't believe that I'm getting a chance to say it to you. And thank you so much for that.
Ashika Gauri is like that. Shah Rukh also this. I hope he does a lot more films like that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when a film does this to one person, I think it's worth making that film. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi Balki, this is Nikhil. My name is Nikhil. My question is on not a very light topic amongst creative circles, which is data analytics and market research, being from that field.
You are the hero, we are the other most needed.
So my question is very simple. In the year 2022, do creative people be it in the agency framework or be it in the cinema, still consider data analytics and market research to be the enemy? Because, or do you think we've moved on and there are bridges which have been built, and how is that process kind of evolving as time has progressed from the 80s to where we are today?
No, I think all that is a cliche actually. So long back, those things used to happen when there were a lot of quack things being done in the name of research, and a lot of people were spouting various things to tick off boxes. But I think research and data analytics are actually struggling to understand and trying to kind of break new ground in getting insights into what is really happening out there in the world today in a very big way. And I think today agencies depend more on that than on anything else in the world, so do clients. And I think a lot of creative people understand it. All they look for is revelations in that, in that stuff, and not something that is actually not robust enough. If it's not robust enough, there is a doubt. And sometimes, like in any field, some things are not robust enough. But it's most welcome, and we, as creative people, I'm sure today, there is no bigger friend than the research person today.
You go through big focus groups and with your films, you show it to Amjanta before and sort of take their comments in the sheets. I mean, it's a common thing with a lot of producers, with a lot of filmmakers. Have you ever done it in yours?
No, I don't. Fundamentally because I don't like criticism.
You started that for 2.5 hours.
No, I don't, only because I just feel that, again, we really don't have a kind of a system where people can see a rough cut properly. A lot of people can't see rough cuts. They don't understand the mixes. Suddenly they'll say, "Ye sound acha nahi, ye picture acha nahi hai." So it's a very difficult kind of thing. Even to some of my advertising friends when I show films, I have to explain to them, hey, the background score will be coming like, because the film takes a long time to finish and show. So I don't think we have an evolved set of system to kind of show a film and judge it truly.
Hello. Yes, sir. So this is Piyush. So first of all, I just want to thank you for making a film like Chop. Like after a long time, I saw a film like a good film, a good Hindi film in theatre. So first of all, thank you for that.
He's speaking or did you pay for it?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you the story. Like if you give me a minute. Like,
Yeah. Okay. No offense, man, but you know if you can keep your questions, it'll be
yes. Just a minute. Okay. And so I'll tell you, I went to PVR Dynamics and on that day, it was 23rd September, and this cinema day was shifted because of a film like, I think Brahmastra, because on 16th, I don't know, you guys know better than so the theatre was full, okay, and many college people were there, okay, because the ticket was only 75 rupees, okay, and when the film started, they were just making noises, they just came to enjoy that. And they were making noises, and I was also getting annoyed by that. But just as the film started, it just kept us all, okay. And I'm just thinking like, because that day the ticket was 75. Those college people, okay, they don't even afford to watch a film in a theatre like PVR Dynamic. But just because on that day it was 75, they came and they watched. And they saw something new. And one of my friends was also there. Don't watch this film mostly, but he also came. And he also loved that. And he asked me like, who is Guru Dutt? After watching that film. He loved all the sequences of the songs and everything, all the shots. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I also wonder like, why films like Chop, like why not so many people, like what you said before about the awareness marketing. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you, sir.
Please, in short question, that's the review you wanted. You got your review word, which is amazing. I'm sure you have a lot of these. But if you can just keep it to questions, because then it becomes a conversation.
Hi, sir. I'm Lasya from Bangalore. You told about how, if you market a film enough, it reaches a lot of audience, bigger audience and all that. But according to me, Kantara wasn't really marketed so well, I think. But why do you think it became such a big thing and a lot of people started watching?
Do you know Kantara in Karnataka? The kind of marketing that has been done on Kantara is very, very different from the traditional kind of thing which you just say, some people tweeting about Kantara. Is actually the guys who distributed or produced Kantara were the KGF guys.
Right.
Okay? Very big. They have their systems absolutely in place. The entire success of Kantara, of course the guys have done some beautiful films before, but it was not unmarketed as a film. The marketing seeped in from there to here. It was done quietly. So it was on the wave of, hey, one more great thing is happening in the south. One more great thing is happening.
The word of mouth.
No. Marketing seeps in. You know, when you have a film successful, which was marketed there. It was not like an unmarketed film there. It was marketed. The success of the film kind of seeped in here. And all we needed was one more film actually that was happening. There was a lot of marketing done, almost like Kantara was this, Kantara was that, even as a Kannada film, even before it became a Hindi kind of, it was released in Hindi, but a buzz on Kantara. So there was a curiosity of this. Of course, people loved the film, and of course, people went to kind of see it. But it was just not a word of mouth exercise. It was not an unknown entity that came in and kind of became a word of mouth success.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Anshul, and I'm a huge fan of yours. You are truly a master who has pulled off many projects on a limited budget. So I just want to ask, what's your advice to the student filmmakers on who basically works on this limited zero budget environment? So what's your advice on how they can pull off an emotional, heart-touching idea, add their personality to it, and make it personal to them?
I know, just write that. You get the idea. You will find the money. I think people are actually looking for great scripts. People are looking for something else, and if you can you have a very powerful kind of script, and of course there's a lot of bit of luck involved in who you meet and what you meet. But if you've got a good script, chances are that you will find not all the money that you want to make it, some money to make it, for sure. You will find it. But it may take a little time, but it's a little bit of perseverance and resilience required for it.
Hi, sir. My name is Shweta, huge admirer. You mentioned some time ago that filmmaking is self-expression, and you make this take 2 years to sort of tell a particular story, and it stays for that week or those 3 days, and it makes you feel like it's just so small. I don't know. I think films have a shelf life, and of course, a lot of us here are because of Chinikam, and huge admirer of your work in your filmography. As an audience, we as a generation are discovering a lot of new content, a lot of films that were also made in India decades ago. So if you as a filmmaker want to tell a story which would be aesthetics versus economics, what would you choose? Like if you want to make a story and tell a story, make a film which you think maybe it may or may not work today, may or may not resonate with sensibilities of your audience today, but it will be remembered someday in the future. Would you still make it? Because a lot of films we discover today that are, we had not, and they had not worked at the box office back in the day when they had released it. What would you choose?
I don't think it's possible for anybody to make a film that be remembered in the future. If it's remembered today, then hopefully it'll be remembered for some time. There are accidents that make a film like Others People that should be remembered as a cult classic way after it was done. But there are very few things like that happen. So you can't make a film for that. You have to make a film for it to work, it to kind of satisfy your senses, as well as make sure that nobody loses money. Or you can't, I don't think you can work to say how much money a film will make. I think all you can do is to say, hope nobody loses this. That much you can kind of engineer a little bit. Hope nobody loses money on this one. That's all you can engineer. How much money a film makes is beyond. I mean, once you have 2-3 successes, you think you know, but you can fall flat on your face even the fourth time.
But Balki, coming back to the whole idea of the economics and the pitching of it, when you're meeting someone and you have an idea that you thought of, that you sort of worked out in your head that no one should lose money, but there is a guy who doesn't believe in that idea of yours, and there's yet another guy who does not believe in that idea of yours. do you keep multiple ideas? Because, okay, you want to try this one, or you want to try that one, or do you stick with that one thing and you will find that one person who matches your script, the person who will bankroll this particular project?
No, I stick with one idea.
One idea?
Yeah, I stick with one idea because unless that idea is seeped into my system so much, I don't think I'll have the shamelessness and the resilience to kind of pursue person after person saying, no, it's not my cup of tea. No, some other project. No, some other time. To just hear a no requires a lot of conviction on your part to keep living with no's and still smiling and saying, you're good, they didn't get it, no problem. So you need to live with that. Right. I mean, right or wrong, that's the resilience you need to kind of live with.
And that's the confidence you need with something like
that's
that.
That's the confidence you need to have about what you thought of rather than anything else. Because this happened to me in show. I mean, a lot of people have said, not this, not that, not this, everything else, even though I was doing it on my own. I didn't even want their money, I didn't want their anything else. Rakesh and me were kind of doing this film together. But just the thought of where will this film kind of go in my head? Because after COVID and everything else, this is the first film that I'm doing. I met so many people who have had to hear saying, not the right thing for you to do, not the right thing for you to do, not the right thing. To hear that time and again for nearly a year, and I was damn confident doing this particular film. I was sure of it. If I had 3-4 ideas, I said, okay, not this, let's go with this. No, I couldn't have done this.
So, I mean, of course, everyone has their own journeys, and yours is a unique one. Everyone's is unique also. The young people here, do you think it can break their confidence to constantly hear no? They have one idea they're sticking to, and maybe no one's saying yes. Because the economics and all, that would not be true for any other art form. You could just make a painting you want to, write the book you wish to, but a film will require so many people and so much money.
Of course, more than resilience, I think there's a lot of luck too. I am just damn lucky, and there are a lot of times I have not been lucky. Sometimes advertising, sometimes film, and there are a lot of people who are not going to be so lucky. A lot of people are going to be lucky, and sometimes the idea may really not be good. There are also some ideas. Let me tell you that. Though I say about Chup, there are a lot of ideas that I've realized after some time, after many people saying no, and I've been disillusioned, I wake up and say no to it myself because I'm saying, oh shit, crap, no wonder it took me such a long time to realize this service, so this thing, that also happens. So sometimes you can be deluded by so much conviction in something bad. It requires maybe a tremendous catastrophe for you to kind of shake out of it and say something is bad. That also can happen, you know. So it works both ways, and you just need trust in luck. I mean, don't curse yourself all the time or anything. I think luck has a lot to play in anybody's success or anybody kind of making a film. So it's all not due to ability. It's all not due to kind of some great talent or whatever. It's fortune.
It's life. Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I have two questions. So my name is Priyanka. I have two questions. One is, you earlier said that you think you miscalculated on the economics of Shamita. I'm curious about how and what it is that went wrong in the economics of Shamita. The second is, I think recently Bollywood films, at least the presence, the fact that they are releasing in itself has decreased. Like this week you have Pedia, you have Unchai. I don't know how many people know that because a lot of friends of mine who watch films don't know that Unchai is coming this week. So I would like to know what you
just not 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's so straight, yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is there are a lot of films that are releasing, release dates people don't know. Maybe even I didn't realize it was releasing that week. And I follow films very closely. So what is happening with marketing in Bollywood today? I'm very curious about that. So please answer.
No, that's what you're saying. It's not about just people don't know film. People are not so not dying to know which film is kind of coming out. People are not kind of, standing in queues to try to buy tickets. People are not kind of dying for those films, except when you have one Rajni film coming out. Since some stars still have those things there, or an avatar coming, whatever. But yeah, I think it was up to Bollywood to kind of up the excitement quotient on a particular film like crazy. I think more than ever before. See, we all went through a phase saying marketing doesn't work. This kind of floozy marketing, people kind of going to this show, that show, that doesn't work. I think today, more than ever, I think the marketing budgets have to be quadrupled. It has to kind of go through the roof. I think we have to spend more on marketing, or almost as much on marketing as we spend on even the lowest budget film. In fact, low budget films need to have double their budgets for marketing to kind of make it. Because there's no point in spending money on a film if people are not aware of it. So I think we are really screwing up on how we are looking at marketing, and that includes me, because I think I'm the worst marketer for your own product. That's why I think clients have agencies and clients have me. And because of being an advertising, don't trust any other advertising because they want to do everything on your own. I realized it quite long back when I first did PA, and I put out this poster, and I thought it was a beautiful poster because I told Rahul it's a lovely one with up at wide angle, top shot, and everything. Everybody loved it, super beautiful. Nobody came to the theatre the first day. Again, word of mouth happened. I don't know how it happened. Small word of mouth happened, second day, third day, whatever. But first day nobody came. Then I realized a lot of one client told me, "Balki, it's a very scary film. I'm not going to go there." So, what scary film? Pa is a scary film. No, Meta, what should look so scary for me? Like, shit, it's such a bloody goof in life. I mean, I don't even know. Chup, the same thing happened. A lot of people didn't go to the Chup thinking it was an extremely, I don't want to see gore and everything. And I wanted to cut a trailer for a lot of young people to show the film exactly as it was, how cool it is. We've seen Korean films, we're doing all this film. Violence is big thing, no big deal and everything. So many people were just put off by the violence in the trailer. They never came into the theatre. So sometimes we have to kind of stop thinking of this cool new few people we see around us as marketing things and assume the whole world is transformed to this. I got such a shock of my life. I stopped reading newspapers for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Right? We all look at you know the number of people who still know about IFI through a newspaper? I read about this in Times of India. My mother will tell me. Some other uncle will say, I saw this, something happening in Goa, no? IFI, which is there, I read about this. You think only old people kind of do this stuff? A lot of young people still read newspapers. We've dismissed newspapers, we've dismissed television channels. We're on this Insta pages and our influencer. Really, life is the only thing that matters. Nothing. The biggest flaw is Bollywood is thinking that marketing is digital marketing alone. And the number of hits we kind of try, nothing to do with the number of tickets sold. The trailer's hit has got nothing to do with the number of tickets sold. And we still haven't learned from the lack of correlation. So I feel that there is a lot that we need to kind of unlearn or relearn and kind of do things right.
I think she asked a specific question about Shamitab as well. Oh, Shamitab, economics. Yeah, I should shot it for half the number of days that I shot it. I overindulged it. I wrote it. I overwrote it. And I didn't execute it as well as I should have. That is the execution part of it. But the economics part of it, I overspent shooting a lot more. When you shoot a film for double the number of days, you actually spend double what it should cost. If I spent half the money that I spent in shooting Shamitab, the film would have worked much better. It would have been a better film.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Samiha. So my question is actually great from this Shamitab segue. So what my question was, as a young filmmaker, what it comes across to us most of the times is these budgets that are marketed for, huge films where a particular film might have like 150 CR budget or 300 CR budget and they don't run at all on the box office. And we often, always, at least in our circles, obviously we don't understand the internal economics that well, but we often wonder then why not sort of make 30 crore K 10 films and you have statistically more chance of 4 of them at least running and doing better business. So my question actually was that, do you think it is time for sort of small budget films to like make a comeback, especially rom-coms, because that's a genre that's almost disappearing today, but then one Sitaramam comes and then that film runs really well. And we are a generation who sort of, grew up watching Chinikam, and Chinikam was actually my first film that I saw in theatre.
Oh wow!
I was 5 years old, my entire family was sitting, and okay, I have to tell the story. I was 5 years old, my entire family was sitting, And from this corner till that corner to my dad, I yelled in a theatre calling, "Papa, condom kya hota hai?" because Amitabh Bachchan was buying it. And I thought that was chocolate. But anyways, the point is, what I wanted to ask you, do you think rom-coms can make a comeback or is it just not viable in the post-COVID world and everything has to be sort of like a spectacle?
No, of course it can. Of course it can. Anything, there's no comeback or something. It's just a question of, firstly, not many people are doing those films. Not many people are writing it. Not many people are wanting to act in it here for some strange reason. I really think also we have very few stars for our ideas. We really have very few people who we can pin ideas on. Because the number of films that we are making, I mean, those people also have enough, only that many number of days. No? They have to calculate their life and see what works best for them at this point in time. So I feel that new faces is a risk. It's a budget. Who's going to come and see that stuff with our kind of marketing which exists? So I don't think anything is out of fashion or whatever. It's just that we're not doing it. We are confused. We are doing confusion. We are not doing films. So we're just saying this will work, that will work. That's why you can't sense what is a wave, what is a pattern that's going on. You hear South India because two South Indias work. You hear something else work. But there is no wave. There is only confusion. There are people saying things have not worked. People talking budgets. People are saying this is not working, that fellow is not working, this guy is a flop. Like you're saying 150 CR, 30 CR, 30. This is what we're talking of. We're not talking of films. So I just think it's just time to put your hands on and just make films in the kind of films that you want to kind of make. I don't know the any other way.
Sir,
last question, guys.
Yeah, sir, धन्यवाद. पैडमैन जैसी फिल्म आपने बनाई, बड़ा साहस आपने जुटा लिया होगा. बड़ा साधारण सा सवाल है कि जब हम एस्थेटिक्स और इकोनॉमिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो पैडमैन के वक्त कई सारे ब्रांड आपको अप्रोच हुए होंगे, नंबर 1. और नंबर 2, क्या ये सही है कि आपने उन ब्रांड को ये चैलेंज किया था कि भैया आप आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो ₹2 में बेचें? उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
100% मैंने किया. I had gone to J&J actually and met P&G. They both wanted to tie up with Padman. They came to our office and they said, "Fabulous, superb. Why don't you launch to be back and tie up with you?" And so it was, how can I tie up with you? Because it was the first film on menstrual hygiene in a mainstream way in the world, and everybody wanted to tie up, but it would have killed the film, and it would have been so unfair to the person who invented that, about whom the film is and the cause for the film. So they tried their best. To be fair to them, they tried their best to make it at $2.
Okay.
They did. They said, we came up with this packet, that packet, but it still costs this much, this much. Can we give it away for a limited offer? I said, no chance. $2 is $2. He revolutionizes, no? And he fought you guys. So you want to sponsor his life, right. the same people who kind of sponsor. So you have to give it to me at $2, which is there. They could do it.
Hi, yes, yeah. Hi, my name is Shoni. So there is a little background. Basically, I am a director, and we made a show that I wanted to make it aesthetically the way I wanted to make it. So I produced it myself, very tiny budget, and it was before going to any other OTT or any other studio to give it to. Now it is not getting sold. So first option is ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था. I'm screwed. My question is, how do I stop getting screwed? So how do I?
Dude, so sorry, but I don't know. We'd like to help you.
No. My point is, I'm inexperienced in selling something that I've already made. You guys have done that before. Is there something that you can tell us about this?
You've made the show.
Yeah, it's ready.
You sent it to everybody. You've shown it to a lot of platforms.
Yeah, a few, because it is a regional show where there are very few buyers. It is in Marathi, and very few buyers of Marathi show. Half of places it got rejected because it is Marathi. But then it is at consideration somewhere, but they are like not, chalo buy ही करना है, ऐसा confirmation आता नहीं है.
Strike a deal. Approach some platform, strike a deal, saying don't. See, they love free. Okay, they love that word, beautiful. Just say pay if.
Okay.
Do a structure register with them saying that, can you pay me if there is so much viewership, if there is so much, if there's some, I want it to be seen. You have to take some chances like that if people are not chaotic. Try a few platforms before you kind of go to that zone.
Yeah, I will do it now.
But just do that. Give them a thing of saying, show it on your platform and pay me if it kind of works. And be honest enough. You have to trust them. You will not get any money, but if more people kind of actually even see that stuff, it will be better than it being sitting in your camp.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
So basically, if nobody watches your show, just blame Balki. You give it away for free also.
What's the point in only you watching? Other people can watch it. Anyway, you're not going to make money. Where will make people watch it?
It will at least get a release.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you, Balki ji.